I didn't stop entirely, but I had to stop dealing with, 10 people.
I'm a veteran of the U.S. Marines, and I'm also a targeted individual for 25 years now. So
it seems like that's all I get anymore. I didn't stop entirely, but I had to stop dealing with, 10 people a week. It just gets so depressing.
Yes, sir. So what I wanted to ask you, Dr. Farber, is that you're a psychiatrist, correct?
No, I guess in a sense you could say I'm a psychologist.
Psychologist, okay. I wasn't certain.
I have a PhD in it, but, there are other problems. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Farber. So I looked in your website, I looked in a couple of your books, and I just want to confirm, as a professional in the field of psychology, how many years have you been in the field of psychology?
Oh, many years, but I don't think much of the whole field. I think it's just a corrupt system. Most of the entire thing now. I don't know if you ever heard of it. How old are you now, for example?
Well, I'm not very aware. I just know that I've been studying this and gathering evidence for 25 years. I've been gathering evidence for 25 years to present to the Department of Veterans Affairs, to present to my congressmen and local senators here in Texas, Dr. Farber.
So you're at least 50 or younger or older?
Well, I'm old. I'm approximately about 50, 51. Yes, sir.
So have you heard of the people that were famous in another day and age in this field, like R.D. Lang or Thomas Sars? Probably not.
No, sir. I have never, but I will begin to research if that's what you're citing to me, doctor.
Well, they were the most kind of brilliant and anti-mental health system, anti-conventional approaches to being a doctor. But this is not known by people who were not aware, at least in the 70s or 80s, these people. But the Zaz has about 50 books out there. And Tom Zaz is now dead. So is Zaz, but he lived a long time. But Tom, if he wasn't drunk all the time, would have lived to an older age. And so they were, two people that were against the same things that I am, for the terrible things they do to people in mental hospitals. I know everything about the field, but not, 20 years. But, I know what happens, but I don't bother reading it anymore, because I think it's mostly a lot of crap. So, I read a lot of the stuff that was written up until the century.
Okay. And
I do know a lot about the other field, not through reading a lot, just through having clients that I discovered in the last about 5 or 6 years. I didn't know there were people today, it's a phrase usually used, that were special people who were being followed and, watched and tortured by the state and the mental health system and all that. So I only worked with them for the last 5 years.
I wanted to ask you, Dr. Farber, how many patients have you seen in regards to being tortured with technology?
I've seen everyone. I didn't see them being.
How many patients would you think you've seen within your lifetime of people that are being victimized by technology?
Well, it's just a short amount, because I told you, it only happened about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
The others you might say were tortured, but that was just through harming themselves. I don't think most of them were targeted individuals.
Yeah.
That's most of them. As for the targeted individuals, probably about 100 or 200 in the last 5 years.
Oh, my God.
Most of them didn't stay that long, though.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good to know, Dr. Farber. Let me ask you a question. Where did you attend college? Where did you graduate from?
My first college and my graduate.
Your graduate studies, Dr. Farber?
Yeah, I got my more traditional place, was at the University of Wisconsin, which I moved to from New York City where I grew up, and then I went to it. You wouldn't know it unless you did knew something about psychology.
Yes, sir.
It's CIIS. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that, doctor.
Yeah, well, it's known by people who are in the field of psychology. The other place I went to was in New York, which is almost well known by everyone, not just in psychology, but in graduate schools called New. I keep getting mixed up with New. Why I keep saying New Lincoln? I keep mixing it with my high school. Yeah, what's it called? CIIS, California Institute of Internal Studies.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know if you've heard of that.
I haven't, but I'm interested in just studying your papers. I mean, have you written any journals on targeted individuals yet? Have you put any magazines or books on targeted individuals?
Yeah, but not a lot. You don't make money doing that.
I would like to would like to mention something on that, Dr. Farber.
I'm tired, but I'll let you do that. And then I will tell you that the thing I wrote was so long, most people won't write it. It was put in a field that does a good deal to people who are more intellectual and read the piece I wrote on it about 4 years ago. Everyone should read that. Yeah. Okay. What did you want to say?
Well, I'm sorry that you say that it's not worth writing about. Well, a lot of times I'm a prior paralegal. I used to work for a law firm. And a lot of times, a lot of lawyers use medical journals or law journals to cite cases and to dispute cases. So don't ever deter yourself away from writing books in relations to this topic, because it's just a new topic that's surfing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people pay a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of people. I'm sorry, doctor?
I will encourage it, yeah, for people who want to have some.
Yeah.
Well, my piece is good. I don't want to do another one, but what is it you want to say?
No, that's about it, doctor. I was just interested in your story and your books online and your website, and what you thought about Dr. Colin Ross. If you have any opinions for Dr. Colin Ross?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I have most respect for the small fella. Keep getting that mixed up with that stupid high school I went. So it's you haven't read the magazine by Romola, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I've read Dr. Romola's or Mrs. Romola's website. Yes, sir. Everyday Concerned Citizen.
Yes.
Yes, very, very familiar with that website.
Yes, she's brilliant, and she does. I don't know how anyone can do that. I mean, she does 20 pages a week.
Yeah, she's a very good writer. She's got a lot of evidence on Americans being tortured with technology. Yes, sir. I do.
Yeah.
I am very familiar with that website, doctor.
Unfortunately, I don't think that many people read it. Just like I don't have the time, but I do read it sometime. People who won't read me won't read her either. Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. What do you think about Dr. Robert Duncan, the CIA whistleblower? What do you think about?
I don't know. I heard he was a good therapist, but some people say he kicks on people and he's not all that stable. I mean, he's done a few good books.
Yeah. What about Dr. John Hall? Have you heard about Dr. John Hall here in San Antonio, who wrote the book Guinea Pig?
Yeah, of course I heard of him. I never met him. I haven't been. He's not John Hall. Is he still in Texas?
Yes, sir. He's still an anesthesiologist as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote the book A New Breed of Satellite Terrorism and the Guinea Pig.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Very familiar with him and his books. What about Dr. Amy Gutman? What do you think about Dr. Amy Gutman?
Well, I used to know her a little bit, yeah. She used to be good, but it's very sad.
Yeah, she had a lot of evidence. She had
corrupt.
Yeah, I think she is because if you remember, she held the Presidential Bioethics Commission for President Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And
I was kind of a respect for her 10 years ago, more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, Dr. Farber, I wanted just to touch some bases on you. I had your website there. I see some of your books. I'm interested in your story, and I just wanted to call you to confirm that this is the Dr. Farber, the psychologist, and that you
Seth Farber, yeah.
And how do you think? I just want to conclude here, Doctor. What do you think should happen with the people that are being tortured with this microwave energy weapons, these satellite weapons? Who do you think is responsible for investigating this?
It's a big problem. I don't know what can be done. A lot of people tried to get to go into court and jobs and do something. They're still trying. Maybe they'll have success one time. But so far they haven't. They won a few cases, but they never got any publicity. 3 stories I read in the New York Times back when I looked, and I'm sure it hasn't changed, or at least not to any success. When I looked about 3 years ago, my mother, before she got, about 5 years ago, before my father died. So, at any rate, sometime like that, there were 3 articles in the New York Times, and every single one of them just acted to trip to everybody like they were crazy and sick and everything else. They didn't, and even last night I wrote about 3 pages on that in my 30-page letter, which you can find in Romola's article. I forget his name now, which was like 3 or 4, But the guy that wrote the article for the Times saying what a wonderful thing it was, and he had said he would talk to some of the people that went to get proper words and proper tests of them, and he didn't do anything.
Okay.
The people, and I want to tell you this. This shows what a pig he is, because several people went to him about this. He came to big shots of people in the striving, people fighting it, arguing it, information as I can think of the other thing. And, he conducted my friend, what's his name now? The guy with the H, I can't think his name now, but he wrote a lot of books, and he took the pity on the side of the naive individuals who were all victims of the system. And this guy was I don't think he's a critic now. He wasn't then, but he used to working on targeted individuals until he knew that they were going to Americans and doing horrible things. He left it, and he was afraid he'd die because he started telling people about this.
Yeah.
So he was really one of the first. I mean, you ask anyone in this movement, they'll be able to tell you about him. Not that they know him necessarily. The big shots in the field do. Like Derek, you know him?
Derek Robinson? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He has a website called, isn't it called PAX International?
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek is the first patriot that I came across that gave me the information to make me a believer that I was being tortured and targeted with microwave energy weapons technology. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned his name, Doctor. Dr. Farber, what do you think about, what do you think should happen to people?
He's not so much the famous one as the guy that wrote the book on it. I can't think of his name now.
Okay.
And the guy that was supposed to, I spoke to him, and he said to me and other people, he put the thing down, and he didn't. Oh, that tells you. He spoke to the guy,